The alien princess who feared nothing until one human changed everything. Chapter 1. The Conqueror's Bloodline. Princess Alera of the Valrax Empire had never known fear. She was born into a lineage of conquerors, rulers who bent the galaxy to their will. The Valrax, a proud and mighty warrior race, had dominated countless civilizations, their empires stretching across the stars. Strength was her birthright. Fear was for the weak. From the moment she could walk, Zalera trained with the finest warriors, sparred against the deadliest opponents, and commanded fleets that raised entire worlds. Her golden-scaled skin shimmered under the twin suns of Valrax Prime. Her piercing violet eyes held the fire of 1,000 victories, and her presence alone was enough to make hardened generals kneel. She had fought in battles, stood on the bridge of warships as enemy vessels crumbled, and walked through cities reduced to ruins without hesitation. Death, pain, and destruction, none of it had ever shaken her. But then she met him. Chapter 2. The Human in Chains. The war against the Terran Republic had raged for years, a brutal conflict between the technologically advanced Valrax and the fiercely determined humans. But despite their primitive origins, the humans refused to bow. They were stubborn, reckless, and resourceful, traits that had made them a thorn in the Valrax Empire's side. After a decisive victory in the Durrani system, thousands of human prisoners were taken. Among them was a man unlike any other. He was dragged before Zalera, shackled in energy restraints, bloodied yet defiant. His face was bruised, his uniform torn, but his eyes, cold blue and filled with fire, stared at her as if she was nothing more than an obstacle to be overcome. Zalera stepped forward, towering over him. "You are a soldier of the Terran Republic?" The man smirked. "Captain Adrian Vale, Terran Special Forces." He did not bow. He did not cower. He did not even flinch when her guards pressed weapons to his back. For the first time in her life, Zalera felt something unfamiliar coil in her chest. It wasn't anger. It wasn't contempt. It was something more dangerous. It was uncertainty. Chapter 3. The Defiant One. Adrian was unlike any prisoner she had encountered. He refused to break, no matter how much he was interrogated. He did not plead, he did not beg, and he certainly did not fear her. Instead, he mocked his captors, laughed in the face of pain, and even managed to escape twice, only to be recaptured after causing chaos aboard her flagship. Zalera found herself drawn to him, fascinated by his resilience. No Valrax warrior had ever displayed such raw defiance. His spirit was unshakable. One night, as she observed him in his cell, he looked up at her with that same unyielding gaze. "You're not used to this, are you?" he said. She narrowed her eyes. "Used to what?" "To someone who doesn't kneel." Zalera, clench her fists. "I could break you with a single command, then do it." His smirk remained. "But we both know you won't." For the first time in her life, Zalera hesitated. Chapter 4. The Turning Point. As the weeks passed, Zalera interrogated Adrian personally. But their exchanges became something more than mere questioning. They debated philosophy, war, and honor. He challenged her views in ways no one else dared. He spoke of freedom, of humanity's unyielding will, of their refusal to submit. She saw the truth in his words. The Valrax had conquered countless worlds, but humans were different. They would never stop fighting. They would burn their own planets before surrendering. And Adrian embodied that spirit. Then came the day when she had to make a choice. The Valrax High Command had ordered the execution of all high-ranking human prisoners. Adrian would be among them. Zalera stood before his cell, her heart pounding. For the first time, she knew what she had to do. "Adrian," she said, unlocking the restraints. "We're leaving." Chapter 5. The Fear She Never Knew. Escaping her own people was more difficult than she had imagined. The Valrax Empire did not tolerate traitors. She and Adrian fought side by side, stealing a starfight and weaving through the fleet under heavy fire. As they finally broke free into hyperspace, Zalera felt something new. It was not the thrill of victory. It was not the satisfaction of conquest. It was fear. Not fear of battle, not fear of death, but fear of what she had become, fear of what she had done. She had turned against everything she had ever known. And yet, when she looked at Adrian, she knew she had made the right choice. For the first time, the great warrior princess of the Valrax did not stand alone. And that was the most terrifying thing of all. Chapter 6. The War Beyond the Stars. Hunted by the Valrax Empire, Zalera and Adrian found themselves in the lawless fringe of the galaxy. They sought sanctuary with rebel factions, rogue smugglers, and civilizations long oppressed by her people. With every new world they visited, Zalera was forced to see the reality of her empire's rule. Desolation, suffering, and fear left in its wake. Adrian, ever the strategist, saw an opportunity. The Valrax were mighty, but not invincible. He spoke of unity, of resistance. Zalera listened, torn between loyalty to her heritage and the undeniable truth of her people's tyranny. Their journey led them to the lost world of Kalos, a planet shrouded in myth. There, they discovered ancient technology that could rival the Valrax fleet if they could unlock its secrets. But they were not alone. Valrax assassins pursued them, led by General Zorth, Zalera's former mentor and the Empire's deadliest warrior. Zorth did not seek capture. He sought vengeance. In the ruins of Kalos, Adrian and Zalera made their stand. Together, they fought, not as conqueror and captive, but as equals, as partners, and perhaps something more. The war for the galaxy was just beginning.